What's up, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. You know me, T-Rob. Got my lady with me.
Hi, I'm Ramona J. Smith.
All right, so we're just gonna talk about how it has been for being in LA for 1 year. I'll be honest with y'all, we're a little late. It is the 18th. We're 13 days late. We were supposed to do this. Well, I wanted to do it and release it on the actual anniversary of 1 year. But I've been busy, there's a lot been going on, so we're getting it done now, and at least we're getting it done before January is out. So, 1 year. If you had told me that I would have been living in my favorite city in the entire world, and I would have made it a whole year, because I'm telling you, we came out here with nothing, and I guess this would be a good vlog to tell that story too. So, we will tell y'all the story of how we got here, kind of what it was like, and then we'll also talk about what it's been like being here for an entire year. But you know what? Just in case people are less interested in the story of how we got here, we'll talk about the pros and cons and stuff of being here first. But a disclaimer first as well. I really get extremely irritated when people get upset with other people for giving their opinion of a place. And they like, well, you ain't gotta be here, you can just leave. Let me say something. I don't care if I'm just passing through. I don't care if I was here for 16 hours. My experience is my experience with a person, place, or thing. So just because my experience is different from your experience, you don't have the right to tell anybody to leave because they experienced something that they didn't like. It is what it is. Now, I'll move on. So you have better notes than me, so we'll go with your notes and we'll talk about those points based on your note. Oh, sorry, but first. Cheers to, did you want to do it or you want me to do it?
You got it, bro.
Cheers to 1 year. Cheers to up and coming success. Cheers to safety. Cheers to, and this is gonna be one for all those people who were watching the Homeless series. Cheers to us having our own space, finally, not living with anybody else. This is ours. Yeah, cheers to all those things.
All those things.
All right.
Cheers, y'all.
This is Jack Daniels and
It's Jim Beam, baby.
I always keep saying that.
Jim Beam honey.
It's Jim Beam honey and cranberry.
And ladies, you already know this is the La Marca Prosecco.
Okay. All right, now, what you got?
First things first, the weather is, well, so my list is 20 things we wish we knew before moving to LA.
Okay.
The weather. I lived in LA for a little bit years ago, maybe 14 years ago. And when I came, I'm telling you, it was about 300 days of sunshine, 300 days of pure sunshine. I can count on one hand the times it rained. But now, I don't know if it's cloud seeding or climate change. It rains a lot. You said, when is the rainy season now?
I think it's just December to February. And that's just based on observation. I haven't looked that up. But based on when I came out here for my birthday, year before last, it was raining. Last February, it was raining. And then, what was that? It was raining a whole lot in December coming into, so this last 3 weeks, it hasn't rained much, but it seems like LA has a rainy season on and off kind of from December to February.
I was unaware of that. The song It Never Rains in Southern California, it was a thing when I came out here, but it rained when we were going to Arizona.
Yeah.
It rained for a long time, for a couple of days, a torrential rain. It was terrible. But other than that, the weather is pretty good. I would say it's perfect. You know, we were in Houston for a long time and it was hot. I mean, scorching humidity, just 100 degrees. But today it's like 80.
Oh, I ain't got my Apple Watch on. Yeah. Where's my phone at? Oh, okay. Oh, well, never mind. I don't know. Yeah, it's about probably, yeah.
It's been 80 for like the last couple of days, but at night it goes down to about 60, maybe 54, high 50s, low 60s. So very warm days, very cool nights. Perfect. We haven't had any earthquakes or maybe some small ones that we couldn't feel.
Yeah, I haven't felt or heard of anything since we've been here. I kind of want to, low key. I ain't gonna lie. I know that's a bad thing to want, but it's the movies. The movies poison my mind. It makes me want to attempt to survive like a terrible earthquake. But I shouldn't want that because I know all the actual things that will come along with it. So I don't actually want it, but it's.
So if it's an earthquake, I should just run outside. What we gonna do?
I mean, my plan might be idiotic, but I feel like if I'm outside in the wide open, it's the safest. Okay. Because if I'm inside, what if the house crumbles? Oh, right. People always talk about getting under a table. What if the whole floor cave in and then everything come down on top of you? If I'm outside in the open, I'm fine. Even if that building come down, I can run away from it because I see it. But if I'm in the house hunkered up under a table and the building fall on the house, catastrophe. So.
So weather. Next we have, oh my God, parking. Parking is trash.
Parking's awful.
It's horrible and it's expensive and it's scarce.
And the best thing that they had going for parking, I think weekends were free. The meters. I don't know if it was the whole weekend or if it was just Sundays or something, but for a point during the weekend, I think also after like 8 p.m. or something, it was free. That's gone. They just decided, nah, y'all finna pay for parking 24/7. I don't care what it is, you gonna pay for parking. And that's been basically confirmed the other night when we were in Santa Monica because the meter wasn't free. And it was, it was kind of early though. We got there like 6 or so.
Somewhere around there.
So I mean, I guess I think the meters didn't turn off till after 8 back when they were doing that. So, but yeah, parking's scarce. And one of the worst things about it is when you live in a residential area, like not a apartment complex or something like that. People don't have parking etiquette. Most people don't have parking etiquette. And that's basically meaning like if you got a curb that's this long, right? You know, all the people who live in this area, we all have to park in this area. Well, everybody wants to park as close to their own home as they can get. Nobody wants to park 2 blocks over and walk to their house. So the curb might be this long. So if the car is this long within the curb, you can park right at the front, then right behind that person, then right behind that person, and then right at the back. These fools will park right in here.
In the middle of the
in the direct center. And so now if you try to get in front or behind them, your butt or front is poking in somebody's driveway or something. So that's super frustrating when you're riding down the street and you can see I could have parked right here, but somebody's taking, or like a big truck, somebody's long truck is taking up the whole curb or, yeah.
Or in both cases, here and on Curzon, they do street cleaning. And on one day, you can't park on this side, and the other day, you can't park on that side. So, of course, everybody's going to be trying to hurry up and get parking on that one side. And when you can't find it, it's like, oh, when you can't find a space, you got to ride around and drive around or try to wait on somebody, or somebody's trying to wait on you to come out. And the worst thing is when you had a good parking spot, and then I'm like, babe, can you go to the store?
You got to go to the store. Or like even when we go to the movies or something like that, it's so crazy because the parking situation will make you not want to leave home. It's like if I go to the movies, I'm going to come back without a spot. And it's only really like that after 5 p.m. Once most people are off work, the kids are out of school and all of that kind of stuff, everybody's home. Sundays and Saturdays, even during the day because it's the weekend, everybody's home. So, yeah, it's awful. It makes you not ever want to leave to go do anything.
So if y'all come to LA, please read the signs because you want to talk about Staples? Or no?
No, I'm going to tell them.
Okay.
I went to the barbershop. I got a new barber. Not only because of this. To be honest with you, I got a new barber for 2 reasons. But one of those reasons was his shop is on Figueroa And I don't know what that side street is by Figueroa, but it's on the far end, like it's like a block down from it's not Staples no more. What is it? Crypto. It's like a block down from the arena. So I go to the shop and I text him. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm trying to find somewhere to park, so that's why I'm a little bit late for my appointment, whatever. He was like, oh, no, bro, you can go down to the Staples and you can park down there and just walk up a couple of blocks. Not Staples Center, the Staples store. So I'm like, all right, cool. He told me this with confidence, like he get a lot of his clients to do that. I go down here and park at this Staples, go get my hair cut, come back, my car gone. I was in the shop 45 minutes. They was watching them cameras, and I think they look for the tow shop. I think they look for people to leave the parking lot, and they come get your car right when you leave. So it was like $350?
$333.
To get my doggone car back because the barber suggested that I park down here. Now, I'm all for confrontation when you bring it to me, but I don't like starting trouble. So I didn't say nothing to him. I'm like, whatever, because 9 times out of 10, he would have said somehow it wasn't his fault, even though he told me to park there. He wouldn't have reimbursed me no kind of way. He probably wouldn't even give me he might have gave me like a couple of free cuts. But I didn't worry about it. Just eventually I got a new shop. Because right now it's a little bit, we're closer now. When we were in Mid-City, it was a little further away. We're in Koreatown now, so we're a little closer to him again now, but I'm good. I got a new barber and she is fantastic, so yeah.
So don't come here and just think you can park anywhere. And they do have the app where you can pay from your phone, so you don't have to keep coming out and feeding the meter. But what we've been doing before we knew about the credit card on your phone, the app, we were just keeping a bunch of quarters in the car. And that was helpful. As far as parking, just make sure you read those signs, read them thoroughly, take a picture if you need to, because you don't want those fees. You don't want to come out and your car is towed. And leave early so you have time to find parking. We were blessed at 1010 to have, is it just valet parking?
Yeah, it was valet. So when we first moved out here, we lived in a high-rise downtown called 1010 Apartments. And their parking, if you didn't want to park on the street or whatever, they had a 3-level parking garage under the building, but the 1010 property has 2 properties downtown. So you have the regular 1010, and then the other one is actually called 1010 Downtown, and it's like next to like the next block. Well, not the next block, literally across the street. I don't know why I couldn't get that out. Literally across the street from each other. So one was a high rise, that's the one we lived in, and then the other one was like 10 floors maybe, something like that. Anyway, so they also had a really big parking garage. So for most of the cars, the location that we lived at, when you go into the garage, you hand them your keys. When you move in, they tape your apartment number to the back of your key. So when you hand it to them, they already know. And they're gonna ask you, are you done for the night? Yes or no. And if you're done for the night, they'll take your vehicle across the street to the downtown location and park it over there. And so when you were ready to leave, you just call up valet, say, hey, this is 1010, we about to come down. I mean, 1010. Apartment number was 1111. This is 1111, we about to come down, blah, blah, blah. And it would take them like 5 minutes, sometimes 15 if they were busy, to go and get your car from across the street and bring it over to you. So that was perfect. The one and only thing that I didn't like about that is that everybody has had that situation where it's like, damn it, I left XYZ in my car. And you want to be able to run downstairs and get it. But instead, you got to call them and tell them to bring your car back. So, so that was a hassle sometimes. But other than that, it's perfect to know that your car is safe. You don't have to worry about it. You roll up, here go my keys, and go inside. Like, that's it. If you were going to come right back out, you could tell them that. And I think they would leave it on that side for up to 15 minutes because you can't just occupy that space.
Yes, that was so convenient. And next we're going to talk about the dogs. Everybody has a dog. Everybody has a dog. Not everybody cleans up after their dogs. Poop everywhere.
The worst of that for me though is I work at Sprouts. So I'm around the public all day long. I've never seen so many people bringing dogs into the store. I'm a rule follower and a rule breaker at the same time. I break rules when I feel like it makes sense to break them, but I understand that certain rules are in place for a reason. And so it really burns me up that Sprouts does not enforce that rule. there's signs on both entrances that say no dogs are allowed if it's not a service dog, but they don't enforce it. I guess they are afraid of being abrasive and losing customers or something like that. But they just be having all kinds of dogs in the store all the time. And not even just Sprouts, literally everywhere you go, somebody has a dog. Either they're carrying it in their jacket, it's in a bag, it's in the cart, it's walking with them. They be in the store barking at each other, just unbehaved dogs everywhere, man. So yeah.
And the rules on service animals are a little more lax out here. We had to do some research with our service animal because some people, they say no dogs allowed, but because the animal is a service animal, that doesn't apply because it's not a dog, it's my service animal. But literally for any reason, you can get your animal certified as a service animal. So it's a little more laid back and lax out here. I know other states, the dog has to wear a vest and the dog has to perform certain tasks. Out here, I think you answer one question, can they help you with this or that? Yes, boom, give me my paperwork. This is now my service animal. That's probably one of the reasons why everybody and anybody can have a dog any and everywhere they want. I think that might be one of the reasons. But if you are not a dog person, just be careful because everybody's out walking their dog. As he mentioned, Sprouts is a grocery store. There are gonna be dogs in the produce department. While you're trying to find your tomatoes, there may be a dog shaking or pooping or so just be careful if you are not a dog person to understand that there's gonna be dogs everywhere. And we have a dog too, so we not hating.
Yeah, I love dogs. Like, so don't get it twisted. Honestly, I love all animals in general, but I just feel like there's a time and a place for everything. I'm not about to bring my big, fuzzy, woolly husky. I mean, he's a fuzzy joker. I'm not about to bring him. Look, he looked as soon as I said, I'm not about to bring him in the restaurant just because, so he could get the shaking and fur just falling everywhere. People eating, that's madness, man. Don't do that. That's crazy.
Oh, this is a big one, babe. The food.
Nobody thinks that LA food is good unless they're Angelinos. If they're native Angelinos, they're going to swear up and down that this food is amazing. Anybody not from here, 9 times out of 10 is going to tell you that this food is ass. Majority of it is pure ass. Especially me being born and raised in the South and living in the South all my life and moving here, trash. Ain't nothing seasoned. Meta said something. I don't know what you heard the noise?
I heard it, but I didn't say
I don't know what it's doing. Anyway, my phone up there, so I don't know what it said. What was I saying? Yes.
the food is bad.
It ain't seasoned. Everybody just want to eat quinoa and kale and what's that? And matcha. Oh, God, I'm so sick of matcha. And it's another one. Acai and look. No. Look, I'm so tired of it. So don't come out here thinking. There are some restaurants now. I've eaten some stuff that was straight. There's a place in Inglewood called LAX Tacos. It's solid. El Patron downtown was cool. The servings were just small.
Of course, Roscoe's.
You know, people hate Roscoe's.
I thought you said the locals hate it.
I feel like I've just seen a lot of people say they hate it, but I like it. It's good. The chicken good. The yams is good. What's that other one? Not the corn. They cornbread terrible. The greens are good. So I don't know why people be tripping on Roscoe's. I'm sorry. That might discredit everything I said, but I like Roscoe's.
We like Fatburger too.
Fatburger is solid. Fatburger is better than Whataburger. I don't care.
Somebody will argue with you.
They gonna absolutely argue with me. Fatburger is better than In-N-Out and Whataburger.
Definitely better than In-N-Out.
In-N-Out tastes like cardboard. So I don't know why. I have the urge to eat In-N-Out sometimes just based on routine. Like just because it's a thing that people do. But it tastes like box. So I don't know. The fries, the stale, they taste like styrofoam. So what else? Taco stands. A lot of the taco stands be hidden.
Oh, that one we went to after that.
Yeah, the one in Hollywood. I forgot. I keep forgetting where. I think it's at the corner of like Fairfax and Montrose. I don't remember, but that one's really good. Other than that, man,
can count on one hand.
yeah, we've been surviving off cooked meals.
Oh yes.
Ain't nobody about to be, the food ain't good enough to be out and about all the time.
And the portions are small and it's overpriced.
Yep, everything is overpriced.
It's just not. It's not good. Coming from Houston and his family is from Louisiana, so you already know Louisiana has really good cooking, and just Southern cooking is so different. It's the best cooking I've ever had. I'm from the Midwest, East Coast Midwest. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and the food. I mean, it's some good things up there, but I didn't learn how to cook until I came to the South. I wasn't really putting my foot in it until I came to the South. So if you are looking for some good down-home cooking, because even we can't even do the red beans and rice anymore because they don't have the right sausage.
Yeah, I can't find my sausage nowhere in the store, man. It's irritating. I done had to do a lot of settling when it comes to food out here because there's so much stuff that they don't have. So, but I'm surviving. I mean,
We making it. I cooks, honey. I cooks. So, but the food is just.
thank God for that, because if you couldn't cook, I might have done perished by now.
You would have been all right. You would have been a lot of fast food, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's going for what you know. The people. So, as he mentioned before, the locals, the people who are from LA, the people who live in LA, they're nice. But because there's so many transplants, it's a lot of just mean people out here.
Mean, disrespectful.
Inconsiderate.
I think inconsiderate might be the greatest thing. It's the biggest thing. I think this is the moment for my two stories.
Okay.
All right. I'll do the car wash dude second. Mm-hmm. So the first situation, we were at Old Navy. We were at Old Navy.
Oh, I wish you had a clip of that.
Yeah. We were at Old Navy and we were looking for matching Christmas sweaters. There was a lady, I don't know what she was speaking, but she's obviously not American. She was walking from like behind us and then came around this way. Now, we were in this spot that we were in first. There was a table right here. Let's say the table, my arm is out of the, okay. Let's say the table was right here and I'm standing like right here. She might be in the same position to kind of where she was, right? So literally there's a gap about this big between me and the table. I picked up a shirt off the table, flapped it out, and I held it up like this so we could look at it and talk about what was on the shirt. This lady with my arms extended, talking about this shirt, came from way over here while she's on the phone behind us and walked her ignorant behind through this gap and ducked under my arms holding the shirt when you could have went around the table. Usually I don't say much, but this time I couldn't help myself because I was so irritated. Because you gotta understand something. At this point, it's compiling, right? So it's not a one-off kind of thing. And I think this is one of those places where people start irritating native Angelenos because when people say certain things, it's generalized. And so they group everybody. I'm not grouping everybody because I have no way of knowing if it's everybody. But what I can say is I've experienced this type of behavior since living here a lot. Most times when we're out and about, something happens in this same way. Anyway, so as she goes through, I couldn't help myself. I said, dang, you couldn't go around? She turns around and, hey, I'm sorry. I'm just on the phone. I don't know what accent that was, but again, she wasn't American. I was so irritated, again, because this is something that happens a lot, and I don't understand why so many people out here carry on that way. Secondly, the car wash dude. I'm at the car wash, automatic car wash. And if you've been in an automatic car wash, why did I say wash like that? Anyway, you know, when you go in, you put your vehicle in neutral, you don't put your foot on the brake, and you just let it take you through. When you get to the end, there's a flashing light that's usually flashing red or yellow. And when it's time for you to go and put your car in drive or whatever, it's going to turn green. So there was a guy in front of me in an SUV. Mine turns green. So it's time for me to go out of the tunnel. I get out of the tunnel, and the way that this one goes, it curves off to the left a little bit. but on your left and your right, you can't go anywhere. You have to completely exit this little space. And then what most people do is either they go right and go back into the street and come out or go out, or they go left to go into the vacuum bays. The guy in front of me wanted to use the vacuum bays, but the vacuum bays were all full. Now, if this is a particular car wash, let's say that the bays are right here. There's a lane right here where about 3 cars can wait in this lane to get into a bay next. That was also full. This is one of them situations where a smart person, either you would have left because there's no space for me, or I could see somebody going out into the street, make a U-turn, and sit facing the car wash so you can see when somebody leaves and you can pull up into the line next. This dude stopped in the tunnel and blocked the entire lane. I'm the type of person that I think in terms of next steps. If you block this tunnel and the person behind you can't get out, right? That's just one vehicle. Cool. Let's say the next person comes out behind me. They also can't get out. Next person behind them, they also can't get out. Because who knows how long he would have sat there. So I tap my horn. They call it a courtesy tap. Boop. That's it. I see him look in his side mirror, but he doesn't say anything. So this time I said, boop, boop. Then I see him look up into his rearview mirror, and he does this. What you doing that at me for? All right, so this time I went, bah! He leans out the window and does one of these. So I'm like, bro, go. This dude says, where do you want me to go? Where am I supposed to go? Out the way. This is the type of behavior that I'm telling you, it occurs so much out here. Again, I have yet to figure out what it is. I asked my barber, the same barber from downtown that got my car towed. I said, bro, let me ask you, because he born and raised LA. I said, let me ask you a question, bro. In my experience, I feel like everybody out here is rude. This is when I was generalizing. I feel like everybody out here is rude. He started laughing. And I was like, I keep encountering people who are not courteous. They're not polite. And then I come from the South, so Southern hospitality is a thing. Everybody speaks. Even if they don't know you, everybody speaks. Out here, everybody just walk past you with their nose in the air like they could care less that you exist. So I asked him about it, or couldn't care less rather. He said, bro, honestly, life is hard. So everybody out here is simply worrying about their own life and what they got going on. It's like we can't even see the next person. I call bullshit, personally. But that was his answer, so I just went with it. I'm not gonna argue with you. I just went with it. Back to the other story. I'm sorry I'm talking so long. But back to the other story, just to let y'all know what happened. I ended up getting out the car, not to approach him, but I'm seeing the person behind me getting ready to come out of the tunnel. So I'm like, if this fool doesn't move, you're gonna jam this person up. Remember, the car wash is on an automatic belt. So the car behind them is gonna push into them, which is eventually gonna push them into me. Think, bro. So I get out the car to try to go find somebody who works there to explain that to them and let them know to tell him to get his dumb ass out the way. As soon as I stepped out the car, buddy just yammed off like fast as hell. I don't know if he was intimidated or what. I don't know, again, where he was from. He was 50s looking, a little older guy. And again, he wasn't American. So that's the type of behavior you're gonna run into a whole lot. Sorry, long story.
It's true though. That was a perfect example. And remember when I was coming out of Ralph's and the guy wanted me to hurry up and run the light, because you're going to see a lot of that too. A lot of people run the red light. So just hold off when your light turns green, because it's going to be a lot of people trying to get that turn, especially if they're making that left turn on that arrow. They're going to run it. But there was a guy, he wanted me to run the light, but there were people coming through the crosswalk and I guess he didn't see them. And so he did one of them long beeps. And so I sat there intentionally through another light. And he's beep. And so I turned around and I just looked at him. He gave me the finger and I just smiled at him, because you're in a rush to go nowhere. You can't control the way I drive. You can't control my vehicle. we gonna sit here until you get some get right. And he finally, the light went off, and of course he skirted around just to get to another red light. Just be prepared for that. The people out here are very inconsiderate, very selfish, very all about me. I'm the most important thing in the world. So just be mindful of that.
Yeah. And one more point about the driving situation. So I don't know about anywhere else, but I spent 11 years in Houston before I came here. Houston has a lot of left turn arrows, a whole lot of them. So when you come here, it's a bit of a culture shock as far as driving is concerned, because there are not a lot of yellow arrows. They're here and there, but there's not a lot. So that's why it's commonplace for them. Like, the police won't even bother you because they get it. But it's commonplace for at least 2 to 3 cars, and on a bad day, 4 or 5, to completely run a red light to make a left turn, because you can't help it. Like, if you don't, either you're gonna be sitting there light after light after light, or you're gonna have to drive like Speed Racer, and as soon as that light turns green, you just pull out in front of the people, because you supposed to turn after traffic. You'd have to pull out in front of them fast as hell in order to make that turn. So I understand it, but they assume that everyone just knows to do this.
And we don't. So just traffic in general is just, there's a lot of people out here, because people talk about traffic in Houston. I mean, a really bad rush hour, okay, but out here, rush hour could be at 12, 3, 7, 11. It could be any time of day where there's just going to be people just everywhere, going everywhere, trying to get there faster than you. People who don't know how to drive very well, so they're going slow on the highway. You have to maneuver your way around them. There are people who are going to cut you off and not use their blinkers, and the flow of traffic out here, I still don't understand it. I try to avoid the highway as much as I can, because people are either driving too fast, or they're driving too slow, or they're not paying attention, or the motorcycles. What's that rule?
The lane splitting crap. So lane splitting is legal here. A lot of places it's illegal, but here everybody does it. Everybody. I've literally, in a whole year, I've seen one cyclist not do the lane splitting thing. Actually, it was the other day when I was going to get his snacks. He pulled up to the turning lane and he just sat there. He didn't split or nothing. He just sat behind this other car. But, did I turn him on again? I keep doing that.
Yo, he got these new Meta glasses.
I keep accidentally turning on. The podcast keep coming on. But yeah, so that's that.
And then just be sure to check your GPS, because it's going to give you a good idea of how long it takes you. Because don't get it twisted, just because you have to go 4 miles, usually in a regular place, it's about a minute a mile. If it's 4 miles, it takes about 4 minutes. The other day I was going to pick up something. The place was 4 miles away. It was going to take 26 minutes. Ridiculous. Just make sure you be mindful of checking that GPS, so that you don't assume it's only going to take you 15 minutes, but then it takes you an hour and a half.
And I would just say the last note about traffic is that, like you were saying about Houston, Houston's traffic is simply just congested. There's a lot of people. Out here is congestion plus idiocy. They drive like maniacs. So you got that combined with the fact that there's a lot of people and traffic is already heavy, and in addition to that, you're gonna drive like a fool. So that's.
The first night we came out here, when we were driving here from New Mexico, I was scared. They were zooming by. And I have an older vehicle. He's got a new car. I have an older vehicle. And I'm like, my baby. They were just zoom. I wasn't used to it. Be mindful of the traffic. And this has turned into things you should know before moving to LA. But in this past year, just understanding traffic, understanding the flow of traffic. And for me, the last time I went to the gas station, I couldn't even remember the last time I went to the gas station, because I work from home. If I don't have to drive, I don't. But you need to have a car out here, because everywhere, even if you're in a centralized location, you just need to have a car. Because we're in Koreatown, if you want to go to Venice, even if you want to take public transportation, there are so many unhoused people. Is that on the list? Okay, that'll come down. Let's move on to jobs. Coming out here initially and trying to find a job.
Yeah, rough.
so rough and tough. Now, what I'm finding out now is it's easier to gig and to make $150 or $250 in one day than to actually get into a steady income producing job. It took us 3 months. 3 months, multiple interviews. I think you had several. I had several, and we just couldn't find anything. So the job market out here is just, I don't know if it's competitive or it's just a lot of people.
I don't know. It feels like, honestly, it feels like the whole nation is having a job issue right now. I do not want to be at Sprouts. I don't at all. It was one of those things where I applied, they wanted me to come in, and I accepted it because I didn't have anything else. And I didn't come out here for that. I came out here for film and to be creative, really. But you have to have something coming in because, again, it's a competitive market, even as an actor. So my network has grown a lot as far as like producers, directors, and people I know in the industry. So I have a producer friend who gave me the contact information for, I don't know if that lady was, I think she was a casting director. And no, was she an agent? Anyway, I think the lady is like the head of an agency or something, like a talent agency or whatever. So he gave me her information. It's commercials only though, so not cinema. But still, just to get started, to go ahead and get an agent, I hit her up. And I sent her all my information, headshots, whatever. And she replied, thankfully, but she said, I would love to have you on the roster, but I already have a guy that looks almost exactly like you do. Same size, same everything. So I have to pass for now, but I'll keep your information. And I think that just speaks to how oversaturated the place is in general with damn near anything you want to do. Any career you choose, there's probably going to be 1 million people doing that exact same thing.
That's true. That's true. And we tried to find jobs before we came out here. We were applying. I had a couple of interviews before I came out here. Nothing happened. And it was months before we moved out here and nothing happened. If you can have a job before you come out here, that would be very, very, very helpful. But if not, gig, hustle, get into your own bag. I was at Sprouts for a little bit, but that's because I was scared doing my own business. I'm like, what if we're not making enough? I got scared, and then I went overseas to do some speaking, and I came back and I was like, no, thank you. So the job market, we were unaware about how bad the job market was before we got out here. Next, credit score when it comes to housing.
So before we got this place, we had checked out, 7 to 10 places. Everybody wanted you to have a 650 or more credit score. Everybody. Now, I don't know how many of y'all watching this have a 650, but I'd be willing to bet majority of y'all don't. And that's not to speak to how much money you have. Those two things are independent of each other. Some people have a lot of money and poor credit. Some people have excellent credit and no money. Some people have both. Some people have neither. But yeah, we could afford pretty much everything that we were looking for, but we just didn't have the credit scores to match. So, yeah.
No, we couldn't do it. 650 or better. I would even say 700 if you can. Just go on and shoot for the 700. But like he just said, the credit score is not going to be enough because you still have to be making, 1.5 to 2? It's between 1.5 and 3 times the rent. So if your rent is $1,500, they want to see you pulling in $4,000 a month, which is difficult, especially if you're just moving out here. Maybe you don't have a degree. Maybe you came out here and you don't even know what you want to do yet, and you're not making $75,000+ a year. It's tough, but that credit score is important. So if you can start working on your credit, do that. I was able to kick mine up a little bit, and it's helpful, but we still got a long way to go because we're trying to get to the 800 club. Housing in general.
That one, I think that one meant more when we were in between places. Like now it's just like, I think it falls under the credit thing. I think it could be combined with that because there's plenty of places to live. Everywhere you look, there's a vacancy or a big old sign up top that says now leasing or whatever. So there's plenty of places to live, but I was calling it modern day redlining, to be honest with you, because a lot of the places you'll check off every single one of the boxes, but I feel like they know but mostly a certain type of person, a very specific profile fits every single one of the little boxes they want you to check. And I think, so that's why I call it modern day redlining, because they're really low key looking for that specific group to move in there. All these upscale nice apartments, because between two people, you know what I mean, $3,000 or so, they ain't that bad, you know what I mean? But so you could go in there and show them that you make that money, but if that credit score not hitting, they're not gonna give it to you. And so that's what we were facing when we were on the hunt for somewhere to stay. And, you know, thank God we found this. So, and that dude, he wasn't even tripping like that. He was like, you know, you seem like good people, you got the money, come on in, you know what I mean? And, you know, I'm grateful for it. So.
Even if we would have learned about like where your friend lives with the lower income housing, we could have got on a couple of those lists. For the lower income places, which are very nice. He lives in a very nice apartment with amenities and modern and upscale, but his rent is maybe 1/3 of the other people who live there. That would have been something that we could have gotten into, but we didn't know.
We didn't know, so yeah, you know, that's another. I mean, I guess we can kind of I'll change the title. We can kind of combine it to, you know, like a review / what you should know before, you know. So yeah, you know, if you probably should, if you need to, apply for low income housing well before, you know, so you can go down that list. So for example, like she was saying, where one of my homies stays at, I cannot remember the exact time frame, but we got on that list and it took them a couple of months before they finally were like, we got room, y'all can come on. But by that time we had this. So yeah, definitely if you can, get on a low income housing list, because just because it's low income housing does not mean that it's trash. You just need to go and look, because some of them are. You know, what's Miramar? Is it Miramar? Miramar?
Yes, Miramar.
Trash. But where my homie stays at, which is like a mile that way from us, it's amazing. It's amazing. He got all kind of amenities. The property is updated. It's nice. Okay, the whole area is nice. So.
And being mindful that wherever you are now, if it's not New York and it's not California, your rent is probably going to be way cheaper for more space. Out here, you're paying maybe 2-3 times as much. I'm telling you, in my apartment in Houston before I moved in with him, I had granite counters and a balcony and a bedroom and a huge bathroom and a gym and a pool and all these beautiful things, modern stainless steel appliances. I had a washer, I had a dryer, I had a dishwasher, I had everything. $1,300 a month. Here, it's a very small space. It's not even it's less than half of what I was renting in Houston, but it's $400 more. Even your place was huge. Balcony. We were talking about the closets and stuff last night. 3 closets, and you had a pool and a gym and parking and things like that. And it was $1,100?
Yeah, I was paying $1,100.
Here, for our small space, it's not even 600 square feet. It's $1,695. I don't know if you want to give them all that information. You can cut that out if you want to, but we're paying almost $2,000 for not even 1,000 square feet, not even 800 square feet.
Yeah, whatever. That's a really important thing to consider, because when most people think about rent, $1,500 is generally where people start being like, all right, now, yeah, you getting up there. It's generally where most people feel like, okay, that's a little on the high end, but cool. Nah, if you're looking for space, something like legit, again, like she said, something that you're used to wherever you live right now. I guarantee you your place is out here, wherever you stay now, just double it.
Just double it.
More than like, yeah, you know what I mean? Double the rent. Because for a space the size of my apartment in Houston, that would be about $3,200 out here. You know, so another thing, they'll charge you all of that money and the space won't even be updated. Again, we got blessed. Like if you look and see these stainless steel appliances and granite countertops and all that, we got a updated washer and dryer with the beepity beeps and all of that on it. That was a blessing. Even though the space is small, most of the places out here, if your rent is less than $2,000, it's run down. You got a window air conditioning unit. Ain't no upgraded nothing. You gonna have one of them old 1970s white crusty chalky refrigerators. You gonna have a 1932 stove. I'm telling you, I promise you, like, prepare. If you really want to have a decent size space, let me see. Let me give a number. I think the average good size apartment for the average person, 1 or 2 people, probably be about, let's say 2 people. I'm gonna say about 800 square feet.
Yeah, I was gonna say 725.
Yeah, 800 to 1,000 that's 1,000 is big.
Yeah.
So about 750 to 800 is really good for 1 or 2 people. If you want that and you want it modern and upgraded, 2,500. I bet you 2,500. So just prepare for that when you're looking for, or when you're thinking about a place to live and what's all gonna come with it and all of that kind of stuff.
And utilities as well, because our electric and water bill in this tiny space, and we not showering for 2 hours every single day, it was up there. It was up there. And in Houston, I don't remember ever paying like a lot for all of that stuff. So just being mindful that your expenses are going to shoot through the roof. Our expenses have shot through the roof since moving here, and over the last year. We understand that, we accept it, and we plan accordingly.
At this point, it's the norm.
It's the
norm.
norm.
At first, it was rough. Gas damn near $6.
Groceries, is that on the list?
What?
Grocery bags, having to pay for grocery bags and taxes on the bottle, taxes on the glass, taxes on the plastic, taxes on the cans.
Yeah.
That's it. Everything is just more expensive out here.
I gotta add something.
Absolutely.
Right now, I can add it later.
The unhoused population,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And starting at 1010, because in Houston, I'm sure we have unhoused. Unhoused is a more politically correct term for homeless. I'd rather be called unhoused than homeless. But for those of you who are like, unhoused, what does that mean? It means homeless. The unhoused population out here is crazy. And I remember us walking around downtown, and you could just walk across the bridge and somebody would just have a blanket in a tent just on the bridge. Or you see communities of tents and these pieced together shanties. I don't know if that's what you would call it. Making houses out of anything. What was it? There was a guy who were you?
Man, Buddy in the back, man. They did Buddy dirty back there. He had, just over the course of time, you know those bunk bed railings? He had done found 3 of them somewhere and made him a little wall. He found a mattress from somewhere and put the mattress on top for his little roof. And he would be in there just chilling. He even was able to put up aluminum foil to block the sun out. One day I had to get rid of some jeans. I can't remember if it was 1 pair, 2 pair, whatever, but I got rid of some jeans that I couldn't fit anymore. I don't know what that man's stature was, but I bought him back there and laid him on top of his roof. Maybe you want some jeans. I don't know. But, we understand that a lot of the unhoused, might have had a rough life or, just fell on hard times or something like that. It could be any one of us at any given time. It could have been us when we were looking for somewhere to be. So we get that. It's just that it makes a lot of people feel unsafe. It makes a lot of people kind of not want to go in certain areas or whatever. And if you feel some type of way about what I'm saying, ask yourself if you'd be okay sleeping in your car for a night on Skid Row. If your answer is no, then don't judge me by what I'm saying. But it's it can get scary, and sometimes they just do weird, inappropriate stuff. Not all of them, because remember that guy that was humping that pipe when we was walking? I think we were going towards El Patron or 7th and Fig or whatever. His dude was naked. He wasn't naked, but the pants were down completely. He was humping a pipe in the side of a building. Or like the several dudes that we passed who just be standing on the sidewalk, just lean like this, just stuck in time. It's everywhere. So I'm not clowning or like trying to, whatever, but I'm just saying, look out for it, pay attention to it, see where these things are so that you can protect yourself or be comfortable or whatever it is that you might want to do.
They're all over the place. Remember that video I sent you when I came out of Vines?
Yeah.
There were two men who were in. I just parked. When I parked, I didn't see anybody. When I came outside, this man was like a zombie right in front of my car, and then his friend was in a wheelchair. He was just kind of like slumped like that. But you'll see a lot of that at bus stops, walking up the streets, just everywhere. It's not just on Skid Row. It is all over the place. Now in Mid-City, we would see people passing, but we wouldn't see a lot of unhoused people just stationary or building tents and stuff in that particular neighborhood. But even over here, the cars scattered with the people and they living in their cars and stuff is really sad. So be mindful that there is a huge, uncontrollable, unhoused population of people with mental health issues, with drug abuse issues, people who want to be there, people who don't, but just be mindful of that. Also, when we came out, the wildfires.
Yeah. That we got here January last year. Did the fires kick off in February or end of January?
Maybe because my place burned down.
Yes, before your birthday. Wow. Yeah. So early last year, the fires had already started. Now, I'm one of those people who believes that it was done on purpose. I think that somebody did that intentionally. But yeah, this year, nothing has happened. Thank God. Hopefully nothing does happen. But yeah, so that's just, another one of those realities of living out this way. And of course, it's in a lot of places across the country, but again, we're talking about LA. So yeah, just be prepared for that possibility. If you decide to move somewhere that's heavily wooded, a lot of the year in LA is gonna be warm and dry, perfect breeding ground for a fire. So, which makes that very interesting that fire happened in January when like I said, January is kind of one of the wettest times in LA. That's very interesting.
But on the flip side, when it rains too much, it can be flooding. It can cause flooding. Now, I haven't seen any flooding. Did you see any over by? I don't know. But there are some areas that will flood because the drainage is not the best because it doesn't rain very often. So being mindful that there could potentially be wildfires, earthquakes, and flooding.
Lastly, I want to mention the beauty of LA. And it's one of the things that made me fall in love with this place when I first visited back in 2017. One kind of negative point to that is that in most places, the city is really only beautiful above like 6 feet high, because anything below that in most places is filled with dog poop on the sidewalks, tents with a bunch of trash all around them, graffiti all over the place. And there's a difference between art and graffiti. A lot of these buildings have beautiful murals just all up and down them. But all those gang tags and all that free Twinkie on the side of the building and stuff, don't nobody want to see that. So yeah, about 6 feet and below is like, oh God. But 6 feet and up, it's like, this is a really, really beautiful place. So just, and the reason that I mentioned that specifically is because I didn't pay attention to that neither time that I just visited. I was too infatuated with other things. But after living here, you see the less televised parts. You see the parts that are not all glammed out and made just for tourists. You know what I mean? When you get into the nitty gritty of everything, it's like, ugh, this little part is kind of, So be prepared for that. But still though, this place is amazing. It's so beautiful. You have snow past what you got. I think you got the San Gabriel? I think the San Gabriels are the big ones with the snow, because you got the Hollywood Hills right in front of the San Gabriel Mountains. So if you want to go to Mammoth, you want to go to Big Bear, that's 2 to 4 hours from central LA, and then you get snow-capped mountains. There's national parks within 4 hours all around this place. You got Death Valley, you got Joshua Tree if you're an outdoor person. You can go hiking in the Verdugo Mountains in Burbank, and I think those go into Glendale. The Santa Monica mountain range is out here. There's just so much amazing stuff to do outside. I mean, Santa Monica, Venice, it's just an amazing place. Even the Culver City stairs, you know, you can hike anywhere almost. So yeah, up to Runyon Canyon, that takes you up to the Hollywood sign. Driving up the PCH, you got Mulholland Drive that has gorgeous views going up that way. You have, what else? I forgot. It's one more that I wanted to mention. I mean, even going down to Long Beach, what was that called? Signal Hill down in Long Beach, you know, and you could even see Catalina Island from Long Beach. There's so much great stuff to do out here. This is an amazing place. There's museums everywhere. There's always some kind of show or free concert or like a neighborhood block party, jazz festival, free museum days. There's coffee shops all over the place. One of my favorite things is just how people walk anywhere, everywhere, all the time. Also, a note about that. Sometimes you're going to smell people. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're unhoused, but it's just that a lot of people out here, they walk, bike, and ride scooters everywhere. So everybody knows what outside smell like. When the kids come in the house, you're like, oh, you smell like outside. You're going to encounter a lot of people who smell straight like outside. But that's because people like to walk and stuff. People spend all day just walking up and down looking at stuff. So yeah, I'm sure I've smelled like outside a couple of times without my walking around. Who knows? Other people might have smelled it.
I don't think so.
So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, like I said, the city, man, it's gorgeous. With the transit, we got to figure out what our closest, what is it called? A metro? Okay, I was gonna say railway. The closest metro station to us, we have to figure that out because the metro takes you all over the place. They just recently added a line that goes from who knows where to LAX, and that's really important. So you got bikes you can rent all over the place, scooters you can rent all over the place. You got, of course, the city buses, you got the metro line. So there's a lot of public transportation in one way or another. But yeah, I tend to drive, but you know.
We caught the bus once when we went to the farmer's market, but it was so much more convenient because we didn't have to worry about parking. We didn't have to worry about traffic. And the bus, I forgot what bus line it was. The 33, because it was on Venice. And it was about 6 stops. It wasn't even that far. It was like $1.25, I think, each way. But when we were downtown, we walked and we saw the train station and we went down and then we got our little tap cards.
Yeah, I was so excited. I was so excited because I've always wanted to ride a subway, and out here they're called the Metro Rail. I didn't know they had that. I don't know no other city I don't know. And when I say that, I'm not saying I don't know as in they probably don't. I'm saying I literally don't know who else has one other than like New York and like the Philly area or whatever. But I always wanted to ride one. I never had a chance when I lived in Maryland, if Maryland has them. I was a real little kid. But we were walking around downtown, and I can't remember if I saw a sign that said Metro or something, and I saw the little stairs going down. I was like, wait a minute, I know you lying to me. And walked down there, and it looked just like, I'm just really excited about this, I'm sorry. It looks just like the subway stations underground in like New York or whatever. I want to film down there and stuff, but we haven't ridden it yet, but I intend to. So we need to find the closest metro to us, and that way we can hop on and that's a good way to experience the city. Because again, going back to the parking thing, in addition to having to pay for most street parking, a lot of businesses don't have their own parking lot. So you'll go somewhere and just not being from here, you'll think you're about to go over there and park, and you're gonna be wrong. You're gonna show up and these people are not gonna have no parking lot, or the parking lot is gonna be valet only or something like that. So you're gonna have to park on the street anyway. What I have found is the best thing to do, because often I don't like paying for the metered parking just because. I'll go park in a residential neighborhood. But here's another thing about that. If it's a residential neighborhood and it's near a popular area like certain places in Hollywood, it's gonna tell you parking is like 15 minutes to an hour or something like that. Or permit only. So they're gonna force you to not be able to park here without getting your car towed, which means you're gonna end up having to walk like 6 blocks to get to where you're going. Or Uber, Waymo, Lyft, something like that. So
I was thinking, about the time we actually rented the scooters. That was fun. That was super fun. It wasn't expensive. If you've never done it before, they go really fast, actually. I think they go up to 25 miles per hour, or was it 15?
Somewhere in there. I don't remember exactly.
But that was super fun. So although we had a lot of tough lessons to learn in Los Angeles, this past year has taught us so much. It's taught us a lot about where we want to be as a couple, where we want to be professionally, what we need to do to get there. One big thing that we both learned is that it is really, I know that y'all hear this all the time, but it's really about who you know and who knows you, because your own ambition can only take you so far. But if you know someone who's doing a movie and they're like, hey, do you want to be in this movie? And it's like, sure. And you would have never heard of it otherwise, even with different opportunities to be a writer on a show or a producer on a show. The more people you know and the more people that know you, that's how those opportunities fan out and how they arrive and how they arise without you having to work super hard and just search extra hard. It's just, oh, my friend is doing this, or my friend is doing a project here, or hey, Ramona, I know you do this. So really expanding your network and cultivating those relationships, not just meeting somebody once and say, okay, I know such and such from CBS. Really going out, hanging out with them, going to their projects. We've done a lot with your godfather, with his projects, and just staying in the know and staying out there and being supportive of other people's projects. That's something that has been very helpful for the both of us, the networking.
Yeah. I'll tell y'all a quick story and then we'll end it, because this has probably been like 2 hours. It's like a Joe Rogan podcast. I don't know, I'm just guessing. Maybe not. No, you got to. So, the movies that I've done, which is only 2 so far. I've only done 2 so far. Could have been 3. My godfather is a director out here, and my godfather linked me with a guy who is a great friend of mine now, who is a producer, and he pulled me into a movie that they were just getting started with, and so I did that film. And then again, the second one that I did, he also pulled me into that one because that person who wrote the film wanted him to produce it. So he pulled me in. He was like, yo, come be second AD on this film. I'm like, cool, I got it. Someone from that film had a third film that they were doing, and they wanted me, I did such a good job on second AD for that film, they wanted me to do theirs. Here's why I dropped the ball. Because I didn't become acquainted with that person on that film, I didn't really take the request as seriously as I should have. And I definitely should have done it, because one, it would have been a third film in LA under my belt. I think total I got 7 or 8 films under my belt at this point. But anyway, that would have been a third in LA, within a year, which is nuts. But I didn't take it seriously, and I didn't because the person who wanted me to be their second AD, she went through the writer of the previous film that we had all worked on and had her to contact me and say, hey, so-and-so wants to know if you'll be the second AD on her film, da-da-da-da-da. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll hit her up. And to be honest with you, I was underestimating how her film would perform, and so I didn't follow up like I should have. But the core of it, no matter how her film did or would have done, the core of it is that I wasn't acquainted with that person who was about to do that film. So again, it's definitely about who you know, 100% about who knows you. And when you get those opportunities, make sure you do your best, because people will remember you and keep you top of mind for their next projects. I mean, that's proof of it right there. I did so well for this film that somebody else was like, I want that dude to be my second AD, but I completely dropped the ball on that. So I won't do that again, I tell you that.
And Craigslist has been very helpful for me with finding just little small acting things. All of them have been, not a lot of money, but like I said, 150 here, 250 here, 125 there. Be careful though, because there are a lot of scams on Craigslist. There are a lot of weird people, a lot of strange people with a lot of strange requests. So be careful, but there are a lot of opportunities on Craigslist for projects, for acting, for photography, for videography. So Craigslist has been very helpful in my pursuit of not my acting career, but just some gigs that are fun to do.
All right, anything else on the, okay. Well, y'all, that is our review and what to look out for, what to be prepared for. This turned into a jumble of stuff, but I know that it's helpful. I know that it will be helpful because before we came to LA, I sat and watched video after video after video trying to find somebody who was thoroughly speaking on LA, what it's like to live in LA, how to get gigs in LA, how to do everything that we just talked about. I looked for multiple people doing what we just did, and I did not find one, not a single one. I found bits and pieces of people saying this or that about one subject, you know what I mean? Or content creators who were kind of just doing day in the life stuff, but I still would watch it because it was a day in the life in LA. So yeah, but we just really wanted to give y'all a thorough look for anybody who is seriously considering coming to LA, what it is that you have to look out for, because it's a lot. And if you're not someone who is prepared for it, I don't want to say that you might not make it, but it's possible because we almost didn't. We just happen to be the type of people who really will go anywhere. I moved to Houston in 2013 with nothing, and I was there 11 years just fine. She moved out here, what was that, 2014 you came out here?
Oh, it was way before that. It was 2010.
So she moved out here in 2010 to this big old city, again, with nothing, by herself. So we're the type of people, we're travelers, we're adventurers. You know what I mean? So we're not afraid to just up and just go and figure something out, right? So everybody's not like that though. So if you don't have that adventurous, travel, trailblazing kind of spirit, it's gonna be rough. Because it was rough for us. So it's gonna be a rough, scary thing. So if you can prepare yourself for that journey, then you should, right? So I think that we gave decent advice to speak to that. So you got anything else you want to give?
Just have your money together, have your housing together, have your transportation together, preferably come out here with a friend or two so y'all can split the expenses, do your research, maybe take a trip out here before you, before you actually move out here so you can get a feel of the traffic and the food and the way the city works. But as much as you want to prepare, there's nothing like just actually getting out here and getting in the thick of it and getting that experience. Because now we have stories, we've grown closer, and we are a motivation and inspiration to other people who want to do the same thing that we did.
Yep. All right. So I hope y'all enjoyed. Y'all make sure y'all go follow her on Instagram at
Ramona J. Smith 1.
All right. And then follow me on Instagram at Official T Robinson and both of them, T_ROB22. Both of them. All right.
TEE.
Yes, TEE_ROB22. So that's it. We thank y'all for watching. We appreciate y'all's continued support. Y'all ate Vlogmas up. Y'all love Vlogmas. So pretty sure I'm probably gonna do Vlogmas this year as well. I'm probably gonna do, dang, what was my name for the Halloween one? Real-a-ween, I think I said. Ooh, I'm gonna do a Real-a-ween on Instagram maybe, because Halloween is my favorite month, man. I mean, well, October is my favorite month and Halloween is my favorite day of the year, or my favorite holiday. So tune in for that, but I love y'all. I'll see y'all in a couple of weeks. We're going to Big Bear next weekend. Not to really just do a bunch of stuff, but you know, get some footage, film, have a good time, let the snow dog go be in the snow. So love y'all, appreciate y'all for watching. Talk to y'all next time.